Okay, this is where it has to happen, and this is where it has to happen.
Over the years, we have witnessed some gut-wrenching sports movies that have inspired us in many ways, but none has stood the test of time like the movie Jerry Maguire. The right combination of passion, zeal, and a desire to thrive and grow despite the odds has been one movie that has stayed with us over the years. Starring Tom Cruise, Cuba Gooding Jr., and Renee Zellweger, the film helped people see the world of sports in a new light. Number 20. It took 4 years to write the script. The movie was written and directed by Cameron Crowe, and Cameron wanted to get the script right no matter how long it took. It took him 4 years to get the draft ready for studios. His dedication to a script is one that many filmmakers aspire to achieve. He was willing to do whatever was necessary for as long as possible to get the perfect storyline, capturing the audience's heart and bringing them the realities of football. Cameron's story is one of passion, dedication, and perseverance. He stayed on the script for 4 years, ensuring he gave his all to it. It was not a copy and paste job, but one that brought an authentic feeling from the football world. He did not quit even when the time passed, and it felt like he had gone nowhere, just like the character he wrote about. He took his time and poured himself into the letters to create the masterpiece that would blow minds away. Number 19. Gooding Jr.'s dad was banned from the set. Cuba. Gooding Jr. is one of the main characters of the film. He represents Rod Tidwell, a football player earnestly in need of money, but too hot-headed to play the game for what he is worth. Some people have described him as someone with talent but too lazy to be the best version of himself. However, this all changes when he meets Jerry Maguire. Although they have started on the wrong foot, they eventually develop a genuine and trustworthy friendship. Jerry trusted Rod to play his part, and Rod trusted Jerry to have his back.
Shut up. Play the game. Play it from your heart. And you know what? I will show you the quant.
Even though the two men seemed friendly, something happened that left Gooding in a predicament. It happened when Gooding Sr., Gooding Jr.'s dad, visited his son on set. He had heard that his son was cast in a movie with the famous Tom Cruise. He was a big fan and was coming on set as a father whose son had made him proud. Gooding Jr., excited to show his father around and knowing he was a big fan of Tom Cruise, decided to introduce him to Cruise. That was where things went out of control. His dad, who had no filter, was so excited to see Tom Cruise that he hugged him. Then he said, "I love you, man. Now seriously, are you gay or not?" It was an embarrassing moment for Gooding Jr. Not a lot of parents get to ask their favorite movie stars if they are gay. Not many people think to ask their idols that question when meeting them for the first time. But Gooding Sr. did. Gooding was so embarrassed and didn't know what to tell Tom. He recalled the incident and said that he just wanted to disappear at that moment. But Cruise laughed it off and just said no. However, to prevent something like that from ever happening again, Gooding Jr. had his father banned from the set and asked him not to come back a second time. Although it was an embarrassing moment, especially for Gooding Jr., you must admit it took a lot of courage to ask that question. And to be honest, many people were curious about it too. At least that question has been answered. Number 18. Crowe took so long writing the script that his choice for the main lead got old. Ever had someone wait for you until they got old? Crowe did. When Crowe had the idea of writing the script, he had pictured Tom Hanks as Jerry Maguire. For him, Hanks was the perfect picture of what he envisioned Jerry Maguire to be. He called up Hanks and told him all about the script he was writing and his plans for him to be the male lead. Hanks was intrigued, but was put off by the idea of marriage in the plot. According to Hanks, he didn't buy the marriage part. Whether because he had some form of allergy to commitment, we'll never know. But he did not want to be Jerry because Jerry would have to get married to Dorothy. Hanks refused to be discouraged by this fact and told Hank he would get back to him. 4 years later, Crowe returned with an answer for Hanks. He thought about what Hanks had proposed, the idea of no marriage to Dorothy. Instead, they would be in a relationship. After pondering over the matter, he rejected the idea. To him, without the marriage between Dorothy and Jerry Maguire, their love story would just become about a guy sleeping with a girl from his office. But he wasn't planning to give up. He would just have to convince Hanks somehow. By the time Crowe was done with the script, years had passed. Hanks was almost 40, had bagged 2 Oscars, and was I. He was in the middle of directing his movie, That Thing You Do. When Crowe approached him again, Hanks turned him down flat. He wasn't as young as he used to be and was pursuing his path. He was already successful and didn't want to add more work. Plus, there was still the marriage thing, which he still did not like. Crowe did all he could to convince him, but Hanks would not budge. He had grown tired of waiting for Crowe and had moved on to other things. And that was how the role went to Tom Cruise instead. Number 17. People were not sure Tom Cruise would agree to do the movie.
Help me help you.
After his first choice for a male lead rejected his offer, Crowe got into a bit of a fix. He had a story, but no male lead. After reviewing the candidate list for the part, he settled on Tom Cruise. He was a bit skeptical about asking him, though at that time Tom was already one of the highest paid actors in America, being paid about $15 million per movie. Crowe, on the other hand, was just finding his feet in the movie industry, and there was another problem. In the movies that Cruise had acted in before, he was always an influential figure, but if he took on the role of Jerry Maguire, he would be a loser, someone down on his luck. Bringing Tom Cruise to act in that kind of role made Crowe anxious, but after thinking it through, he decided to go for it. He called up Tom Cruise's agent and they set up a meeting. Many people didn't think Cruise would agree to be in the movie either. It became one of the pitches from the agents of other actors auditioning for the role. They would call and tell Crowe things like, "Be realistic, you'll never get Cruise, and Cruise will never play a loser." At some point, Crape felt he had made a fool of himself asking Cruise to take the role. But then the unexpected happened. Cruise read the script and fell for it and the character. After 2 months of discussions, including Cruise studying videotapes of sports agents and Crowe shaping the movie to be more of a younger man's story, Cruise finally decided to take the iconic role. Number 16. Someone else was almost Dorothy Boyd.
So what's wrong, honey? Used to be a better meal, now it's a better life.
Dorothy Boyd, Maguire's love interest in the film, was one of our favorite characters. Her determination and sincere love for Maguire had fans swooning. She also dropped one of the most iconic lines ever, endearing her to the fans worldwide. But she almost missed the role before Jerry Maguire made Renee Zellweger an international star. Initially, the role was supposed to go to Friday Night Lights star Connie Britton. Britton said she had auditioned for the part, and Cameron Crowe had fallen in love with her acting. She was excited about doing a movie with Tom Cruise and had been assured of her place as his female lead. Britton even did a table read with Cruise, and with the response she had gotten, the role was as good as hers. But then Crowe told her that they just needed to screen test one more actress, who happened to be Zellweger. Zellweger won the part. Britton was heartbroken. Not only was she excited to be cast with Tom Cruise, but she had genuinely fallen in love with her character Dorothy. But it seemed like her destiny was somewhere else, not with Cruise. Britton has joked that she probably lost the part because she was too tall for Tom Cruise. Zellweger, then little known, auditioned for Dorothy 3 times over the space of a month. Cruise was there for her final reading, which made all the difference. Crowe videotaped the audition and saw Cruise reacting to Zellweger. "In that great way, Spencer Tracy regards Katharine Hepburn. Just someone watching this person who, as it happens, would play a big part in his future life." And it was all there in the first moment. Number 15, an iconic line was almost scrapped.
Here it is. Show me the money.
Jerry Maguire is a movie that gave us some of the most memorable lines ever. The most famous iconic line would arguably be, "Show me the money," which Rod Tidwell tells Jerry Maguire over a phone conversation. A close second to that line would have to be, "You complete me." But as Cameron Crowe revealed to The Hollywood Reporter, he planned to cut that line from the script until Tom Cruise stepped in. Crowe felt the line was too tacky and wanted to scrap it altogether. But Cruise had convinced him not to. For some reason, he had formed a special connection to it and wanted to try the dialogue out. After a marathon night of filming, Cruise finally got to try the line in a scene at 4 in the morning. By the end of his speech, everyone on set was holding back tears, captivated by the raw emotion in Cruise's voice. Even Zellweger was emotional and on the verge of tears. It seems as though Cruise had opened up a box of emotion that day, and it was something that the rest of the world would also get to feel. Tom had delivered the line so powerfully, and it took Zellweger a few minutes to pull herself back together and continue with the scene. The iconic line, "You complete me," spoken by Tom Cruise's character Jerry Maguire, was voted as one of the top 100 movie quotes by the American Film Institute. Number 14, the Rolling Stones' Ronnie Wood was the inspiration for the name Bob Sugar.
I don't know.
I know this is uncool to do this now, Ron, but you belong with the big boys.
In the film Jerry Maguire, Bob Sugar, played by Jay Moore, is recognized as the antagonist. He goes above and beyond to ensure that he takes away all of Jerry's clients after Jerry's fallout with his superiors at work. He seems to be the weapon fashioned against Jerry Maguire in the movie, always there to throw a wrench into his plans and steal his thunder. Although portrayed in a villainous manner, his character also garnered some attention.
I go here.
So you empowered Bob Sugar to deal with Denver behind my back?
Fans began to question who the inspiration was behind Jay Moore's villainous sports agent Bob Sugar. Was it a real person or a fictional character made up by Crow, whose origin people may never know? When Crow was asked about it, he told a story about how he was in Dublin in 1993 with Pearl Jam. He and the band were hanging out in a bar when Stones guitarist Ronnie Wood walked in. Wood yelled to Crow, claiming that a guy had been following him. Although the man was considered harmless, his constant presence still gave Wood the creeps. Wood tells Crow, "A guy is stalking me and he finds me wherever I go. I don't trust him and he seems nice, but he scares me. He says his name is Bob Sugar, can you believe it?" Later on, Crow realized Woods was probably saying brown sugar, as in the Stones' famous song, not Bob Sugar. But then the name stuck. When the time came to name the characters for Jerry Maguire, Bob Sugar was the first one on the page. Crow said it was the perfect name for a nemesis. It rolled off your tongue easily and represented someone who could sweet-talk his way out of anything but was bitter. Number 13, Cuba. Gooding Jr. stripped naked to land the role of Rod Tidwell.
Sorry. You are hanging on by...
Godwin Jr., who plays Rod Tidwell, had to go the extra mile to get the role. According to Cameron Crowe, the actor had stripped naked during his audition. When it was Gooding Jr.'s turn to audition, it happened to be the locker room scene where Rod Tidwell had just gotten out of the shower dripping wet to browbeat his agent over the disappointing details of a contract negotiation. Gooding Jr. asked the director if his character was stripped naked in this scene, to which Crowe said yes.
I just want to... Oh, here we go. Okay, the studio, I love you, and Cameron...
In the blink of an eye and with no hesitation whatsoever, Gooding took off his pants and stood naked, leaving Crowe and Cruise stunned. Stunned and laughing, they watched as Gooding beckoned with his hands, indicating that he was ready to do the scene. "Bring it on," Gooding Jr. said with fearlessness. "Come on, let's read the scene," he shouted joyously. "I'm gonna get this part. I ain't afraid of nothing." So it was no surprise when Gooding Jr. got the role. His high school football background gave him the chops to play Rod, though he also went through a week of training camp to prepare. Not only did he get it, but he also went on to win the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Number 12. Renee Zellweger thought her famous line was a typo.
You had me at hello.
The famous line of Renee Zellweger was also recorded as one of the most iconic lines ever. In the film, after Jerry Maguire's passionate speech to his wife Dorothy, during which he dropped the iconic line, "You complete me," Dorothy also drops an iconic phrase in that scene. She tells Jerry to shut up and that you had me at hello. One of the best scenes in the movie, her line was one of the reasons why the film Jerry Maguire is unforgettable. While we celebrate Zellweger's achievement and iconic presentation of her part in the film, it would shock many people that she initially thought the line was a typo. Everybody in the studio seemed to understand the phrase except her. They had to retake the scenes multiple times because she did not know how to deliver the line. She later got it right, and we got one of the most unforgettable phrases on television. Renee Zellweger received critical acclaim for portraying Dorothy Boyd, a single mother and Jerry's love interest. She received her first Academy Award nomination for Best Actress in a Supporting Role for her portrayal of Dorothy, which was unsurprising given how good she was in the movie. Number 11. Crowe's motivation for Jerry Maguire was his lackluster success in his previous movie. Crow's motivation and source of inspiration for the movie had been his film Singles, which was released in 1992. The audience did not widely receive the film, and this left Crow feeling a sense of disappointment. But rather than wallow in self-pity, he wrote a more personal and emotional movie that the audience worldwide could connect with on a deeper level, something they could not do with his movie Singles. He used his experience after the movie's lackluster success to form the bedrock of Jerry's life. After Singles' lack of success, Crow recounts looking around him and discovering that many fake friends had disappeared. The ones who stayed were his true friends for life. Even when he was at a low point in his life, they were his solid support, pushing him to improve. That experience became one of the first ideas that drove Jerry Maguire. What if you lost everything or lost a lot, and you looked around and all those people you thought would be there for life were gone? The story of Jerry Maguire explored the concept of finding true friendship in the most unlikely places in the toughest of situations. One of Crow's inspirations was a newspaper photo of an athlete and his agent. He said the two men looked like two different people from different worlds, but at that moment, it was both of them against the world. In a way, fans are grateful that Singles did not do so well, or else we would not have gotten the masterpiece Jerry Maguire. Number 10. Ray is all grown up now and he isn't playing baseball.
The human head weighs 8 pounds.
One character who steals the audience's heart with his charm and innocence is Ray, Dorothy's 5-year-old son. With his cute smile and spiky hair, he seems to have secured a place in the hearts of Jerry Maguire fans worldwide. While we celebrate his role in the movie and his impeccable acting as a child, it would surprise you to know that Crow had problems casting the right actor to play Ray. To play the part of Ray, Crow wanted a child who didn't seem like a professional actor, and Jonathan Lipnicki, who played Ray, had a McDonald's ad to his name. He auditioned for the part, but did not get it. Crow picked someone else he felt was more suitable, but the one he hired didn't work out, and Lipnicki replaced him after 3 weeks. The 5-year-old and Cruz had an instant connection from their first meeting, maybe because, as Lipnicki told Cruz at his audition, Top Gun was his favorite movie, one he'd seen 20 times. As they began shooting scenes, it became apparent that Lipnicki was the one they had wanted for the role of Ray all along. He brought to the picture Ray's look with the spiky hair, the glasses, and the line about the human head weighing 8 pounds. Jonathan Lipnicki stole the movie as Dorothy's precocious 5-year-old son Ray, who happens to be smarter than his age. But as of today, little Ray isn't so little anymore. Now a full-grown 26-years-old adult, Lipnicki is a martial artist. In a video he released, he reveals that, to date, casting agents still consider him to be that cute little boy with spiky hair and glasses who told Rod Tidwell he talked too much. He also revealed that he had a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, whatever that is, and he is now ripped. So yeah, he is living his best life and has been doing well for himself. Number 9. Jerry Maguire was nominated for 5 Oscars. The film, Jerry Maguire, upon its premiere, was a box office success. It grossed $273.6 million against a budget of $50 million. It was the 9th highest grossing film of 1996 and was nominated for 5 Oscars, including Best Picture, Best Original Screenplay, Best Actor, and Best Editing. It received nominations for 3 Golden Globes, with Cruz winning Best Actor in the Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy category, and 3 Screen Actors Guild Awards. It also won Best Supporting Actor, with Cuba Gooding Jr. taking the award. We also saw the moment Gooding accepted his trophy by doing Rod's End Zone, which was pretty cool. Number 8. Crow thought the idea of Quan was going to be iconic.
Hell yeah, that's my word. You know, some dudes might have the coin, but they'll never have the quan.
Of all the quotes in the movie that became pop culture staples, Crow was surprised that the idea of the Quan did not become as quotable. He thought that one was gonna take off as it was one of the main concepts of the film. The scene takes place after Tidwell finishes a game and is in a conversation with Jerry Maguire. Tidwell tells him that he deserves more than money, that he deserves more. It's not just the coin, he says, it's the Quan. Intrigued by this concept of Quan, Jerry Maguire asked what the word means. Tidwell tells him it means love, respect, community, and the dollars. The package, the Quan? Jerry asks how he got the word Quan. Rod tells him, I got there from coin, dude. Coin, coin, quan. Although the scene is memorable, it didn't match up with showing me the money and you complete me. This surprised Crow because he had wanted to scrap out you complete me, as he felt the concept of Quan would be a big hit. Although not as popular as he had hoped, the idea of Quan is still widely discussed today, so it wasn't a failure. Number 7. Jerry Maguire and Rod Tidwell were based on real-life characters. Much of the inspiration for Jerry as a sports agent came from Lee Steinberg, a real-life agent who served as a consultant on the film. He had a cameo in the movie as the man who introduces Jerry to Troy Aikman, who was Steinberg's client in real life. During his research on the world of football and agents, Crow had followed Steinberg around like a pupil as he tried to get a concept of the world of American football. Steinberg would have also played a bigger role in the movie as Jerry's brother, who gives an unflattering toast at Jerry's bachelor party, but he didn't want to come off as a villain. He also claims to have taught Jerry O'Connell, an aspiring NFL quarterback, and Frank Cushman how to throw a spiral. Similarly, Crow based Rod Tidwell loosely on Tim McDonald, a San Francisco 49er who once walked the media floor with Steinberg, like Jerry and Rod did in the movie. Crow has also credited McDonald with coining the phrase, "Show me the money." Number 6. Crow wanted Billy Wilder to be Jerry's mentor. Crow wanted the director he admired most, Billy Wilder, to play Dickie Fox, Jerry's mentor. According to Crow, Billy Wilder's movie, The Apartment, was Crow's model for the office romance between Jerry and Dorothy. Wilder, a sparkling conversationalist but not an actor, turned him down. He told Crow, "I'm a director, not an actor," and that was the end of the conversation. Crow had even asked Cruise for help convincing him to be a part of the movie, but Wilder would not budge. Not even Cruise could talk him into taking the part. Crow went instead with Jared Jewsom, a top lawyer at Sony, the film's distributor, who had no acting experience. And for a newbie in the acting world, he nailed it perfectly. Even though he didn't appear much in the movie, he played out his role pretty neatly. Number 5. There were a lot of music business cameos in the movie. No Cameron Crowe movie would be complete without a few well-placed cameos from the world of music, a subtle signature of his background as a rock journalist. In Jerry Maguire, Crowe weaves these appearances into the story so easily that they feel like natural parts of the film's universe, rather than distracting celebrity drop-ins. One of the most notable is Crowe's former boss, Rolling Stone founder Jan Wenner, who steps into the role of Jerry's boss at Sports Management International. Wenner's presence is a sly nod to Crowe's early days writing for the magazine, and his authoritative, almost paternal demeanor adds weight to the scenes they share. Then there's the late Glenn Frey of the Eagles, whose brief appearance as the general manager of Rod Tidwell's team, the Arizona Cardinals, is a warm tribute to Crowe's deep ties to the music world. Frey plays the role with understated charm, bringing a quiet realism to the sports executive archetype. Music video director Mark Pellington also turns up in a memorable offbeat moment as the commercial director wrangling a camel on set, a scene that adds a touch of absurd humor to the film. The most unexpected cameo is Jerry Cantrell, the frontman of Alice in Chains, who appears as the helpful employee at the copy shop where Jerry prints his now legendary mission statement. It's a small moment, but for music fans, it's an Easter egg worth spotting. It blends the worlds of rock and film in a way only Crowe could pull off. Together, these cameos are more than just fun trivia. They are a testament to Crowe's roots in music journalism and his knack for building cinematic worlds that hum with authenticity, where the boundaries between film and music culture blur seamlessly. Number 4. Jerry Maguire had a lot of product placements and a legal battle with Reebok. As you would expect in a movie about athlete endorsements, product placement runs rampant in Jerry Maguire, with about 25 retailers' merchandise getting prominent screen time. But the company that garnered attention was Reebok, a sports clothing and footwear brand. Reebok spent $1.5 million on placement, including a commercial starring Rod wearing a Reebok jacket. That got cut from the film's theatrical release, and all that was left was Rod's rant criticizing the shoe company. Reebok, feeling that its terms of contract had been violated, sued the studio for $10 million for breach of contract. The lawsuit was settled out of court, and Rod's Reebok ad was restored to the film in television broadcasts and on the special edition DVD. Number 3. The film was originally titled The Things We Think and Do Not Say. Before settling on the title Jerry Maguire, the film was initially titled The Things We Think and Do Not Say. It focused on Jerry's epiphany after a confrontation with a player's child after an incident that injured his father. Jerry said he thought about it, which led to him losing everything he had worked so hard for in the blink of an eye. But Crowe decided that the title only gave a glimpse of the first part of the movie and did not cover the entire film. The title was later changed to Jerry Maguire, to focus on Jerry's journey as he rises against the odds to become one of the greatest agents ever and find friendship and love with the most unlikely people. Number 2. The film's success led to a surge in people pursuing careers in sports management.
I am out here for you. You don't know what it's like to be me out.
The popularity of Jerry Maguire inspired many individuals to pursue careers in sports management, attracted by the glamour and excitement portrayed in the film. Everyone wanted to become a sports agent after watching Tom Cruise do it. But in reality, it just shows how far the movie's influence went. Some people even claimed that Jerry Maguire helped make American football better. It opened people's eyes to some of the challenges football players experience behind the scenes and how someone could make a difference, one player at a time. Joss's character portrayed the true spirit of sportsmanship, will to persevere, and a spirit that endures till the end. Even after losing everything for doing the right thing, his convictions never changed, and he kept working hard until he achieved the desired result. The path to his success was not easy, but then nothing good ever comes easy. Not only did he get Tidwell the medical package as promised, but for others in the industry who are also going through what Rod was going through, Jerry Maguire became a symbol of hope. Number 1. Cuba Gooding Jr. had some experience dancing. As much as we would like to applaud Gooding Jr. for his role as Rod Tidwell, many people would be surprised to find out that before he ventured into acting, Gooding Jr. had a career as a breakdancer. Having begun his show business career as a breakdancer, Cuba Gooding Jr. was also the right actor to perform Rod's end zone dance, which Paula Abdul choreographed. Rod dances after he scores a touchdown. In the film, he does a backflip and a funky dance in the end zone to celebrate his victory. The film follows the life of Jamie Maguire, a successful sports agent who seems to have his whole life ahead of him. He's successful, engaged to a beautiful fiancée, and seems to have his entire world together. Then he looks back at his life and questions all he has done so far and the methods he has used to reach the peak of his career. Feeling remorseful about some of his decisions, he has an epiphany and sends a company-wide memo to all his bosses.
Jesus Christ. What about me? You know what I went through, knowing I was gonna have to fire my mentor? Carrying that around in my head for a week?
He records all his new thoughts in a mission statement which expresses his new outlook on life and criticizes his superiors' methods in their company. After doing so, he finally feels free and has a new purpose in life. However, his superiors do not meet his new outlook on life with the same enthusiasm he had hoped. Shortly after the mission statement was released, Maguire lost his job to his protege Bob Sugar, who ends up as his rival throughout the movie. Glad for the opportunity to advance in his career, Sugar begins to work hard recruiting his former mentor's clients. On the other hand, Maguire decides to test his new philosophy by opening his own sports agency. Then he discovers that this new life he wants to live might not be as easy as he thought. He loses all his clients to Sugar, save one, Rob Tidwell. His fall from grace in life eventually spills over to his personal life. Shortly after the incident, he fights with his fiancée, leading to their breakup. Left all alone with one client and Dorothy Boyd, the only person to believe in him, he sets out to rebuild the life he has lost, this time with a clear conscience.
I'm gonna do what you all think I'm gonna do, which is just flip out!
The movie follows the chain of events that unfold as Jerry Maguire tries to rebuild his career and life from the ground up after a single bold decision costs him everything. What begins as a professional disaster quickly spirals into a personal reckoning, forcing him to confront the fragility of success and the true meaning of loyalty, love, and self-worth. We watch Jerry navigate highs and lows, facing crushing doubt and unexpected triumphs. Every setback forces him to dig deeper, and every small victory rekindles his belief that he can find his way back. It's a film that blends romance, slice-of-life realism, and an underdog sports story into one heartfelt narrative. At its core, it's about relationships between friends, lovers, and between a man and his sense of integrity. This was some of Tom Cruise's most nuanced work, portraying Jerry with charisma and vulnerability. Cruise captures the journey of a man who begins with a shiny exterior and a shallow sense of achievement, only to be stripped down to his rawest self and rebuilt by genuine connection and perseverance. Jerry's story is not simply about reclaiming status, it's about redefining what success means. The film paints a quiet yet powerful portrait of someone who once had it all and lost it in a single life-altering moment. But instead of letting fate or public perception write the ending for him, he chooses to fight back, not with arrogance, but with resilience. He sets out to prove to the world and himself that he was never just a product of luck or circumstance. His comeback is built on hard work, authenticity, and the belief that one or two people standing by you can make all the difference. Ultimately, Jerry Maguire isn't just about winning, it's about learning who you are when everything else has been stripped away, and finding the courage to start again. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you know other facts we missed, write them in the comments section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.